Hi, hello, welcome to this discussion. Today I'm going to debate currently perspective on feminism and how it might be seen from a different conservative ideology. I'm going to use an article from New York Times named "Did Liberal Feminism Ruin the Workplace?" For the introduction, I'm going to discuss some concepts of liberal feminism which is most associated with American belief that emphasize social justice, equality, and political liberalism, advocate full equality for women and men in legal and social matters. Also refer to how similarities between males and females need to be maintained as well as an equal opportunity. Also, I'm going to include some other concepts of feminism discussed in our textbook, which are radical feminism, cultural feminism, and global feminism. We here have radical feminism, which might focus on how male dominance over women for most of the history. Also, cultural feminism, which focus on how difference between woman and man will be highlighted. Also, global feminism refers to how some of the discriminations against women are connected across culture, including equal access to health, education, sex trafficking, and ending violence again in developing countries. Next, in this presentation, we are going to have a brief discussion of the feminism debate article. We're going to answer some of the controversial society issues regarding gender inequality. Also, we are going to add some of the concerns about the feminism ideologies. We'll address also some of the history of the Feminism Act, explaining their point of view and their uh, development in the society. With the history of feminism, we see in this slide how through the many decades women have been concerned and sometimes very successfully in changing how society accepts the woman's work. Here we have a review from the book about the different wave of women's movements starting in 1848 didn't end up today because we're still raising our voice and finding equality and social equal opportunity among society. So the justifying gender inequality belief that conservative people raise. Well, they say that women are over emotional, they need control, they are incompetents or need a restriction for their own good. Moreover, people that do not believe in feminism says that sometimes women frequently invent and create false accusations that are widely accepted for many governments and institutions. Conservative people interviewing in the article justify on the ground of biology or religion. They state that gender-related behaviors are determined by unchangeable biology difference, far from social conditions. They also propose that women should not do things that go against their nature. Also, they highlight that how religious justification combined with the biology justification advocate that women should obey their husband and serve to create a family, not to seek any personal or career goal. Criticism debate of this article raises a great questions about how feminism has impacted and transformed the workplace. This discussion focuses on themes such as feminization of institutions, the rise of wokeness, and the lack of competitiveness in the workplace as a result of liberal feminism influence. They suggest that feminism creates scripts for how to succeed at work rather than how to succeed at family life and forming marriages. The arguments of the created in these articles reflect how feminism has been displaying masculine virtues in institutions and have been contributing to feminist vices like vanity, jealousy, and conflict avoidance. On the other hand, Sargent offered a more neutral pushback, arguing that workplaces should not be treated as the ultimate sign of personal fulfillment, and questioning whether feminism has served women well in the current context. Some of the summary of these um, arguments indicate that many social issues, such as late marriages and fewer kids in population, are the result of the woman's empowerment. Now let's discuss some of the feminist perspective. Here we have valued women as important human beings, recognizes the need for social change, movement to end sexism and sexist oppressions, belief in equality and orientation, advocate for social equality with men and whose factor changing law, visions of feminism that values women as independent and autonomous human beings. To understand better and even give us a broad discussion about how feminism is seen and accepted in society institutions, we're going to add this concept of intersectionality discussed in our textbook. This concept was proposed by a feminism psychologist Elizabeth Cole. It consists in asking three questions in the research design. The first question is who is included in the category, including women of different social classes, ethnicities, and sexuality. What role does inequality play? Here we have categories such as gender, race, class, and sexuality. And the last question that all feminism asks are any similarities? Looking at the behavior and experience research, many can discover many similarities in groups that I'm not seeing from a neutral position. I'm going to discuss some of my personal thoughts about feminism and related to the discussion of this article. Overall, I advocate for the feminist perspective. I seek and I see a more equal opportunity rather than focusing on female or male differences or special skills. For instance, I believe that feminism is changing the way society considers women work. Now we may see that many organizations prevent sexual harassment and women have their voice raised to give their own ideas. Feminism, I think it has helped women to feel free and autonomous, to follow their passion and to do what they wants to do with their life. I believe also feminism helps men to understand their co-workers and spouse and create a fair relationship between men and women. Moreover, women who are more independent and more likely to be outside of an unhealthy relationship than before. This will improve the quality of life of many women. Still, there is so much work to do, but I agree with how feminism propose their arguments that raising feminism idea will positively influence how society distribute equality among its people. Different from this debate, I agree that being a feminist will not harm any structured society organization. In fact, it will enable people to better cope with work, family, and society setting in an easier and a fair position. The article generated controversy with many criticisms saying that women and feminism are responsible for many problems and society structures. For instance, Andrew suggests that many companies and organizations have been employing more women than men because they are fear to be sued and to prevent sexual harassment scandals. Also, she refers to how feminism creates a weak society since women cannot lead and are too emotional to handle negative feedback. Also, she said that many of the problems that many women says that are need to be considered are also some problems that need to be understood by the biology of the male behavior. She highlights how male behaviors are stronger than female behaviors, and so women need to be aware of that. Are some of the references that I use to this discussion. The first one is the article from the New York Times, and the second one is our textbook from this course. Here in this slide, I'm going to share some of the questions for you. Um, what are your opinions about this issue? Did you agree with the conservatism in this article? Is it more appropriate to adopt a more feminism ideology in society? Did you see any harm to a society structure if feminism beliefs are adopted? What are your own ideas about this current issue in society? I hope you all learn, enjoy this presentation. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you made your own conclusions about this topic. Thank you for listening. Stay safe.